Look anywhere online and it feels like the US is burning, not just from the inside, but from the outside too. Every day, America's reputation sinks a little lower and lower around the world. From comments on my other videos to posts on travel forums, people everywhere are saying the same thing. They're tired of American tourists being loud, disrespectful, and acting like they own the place. What I see is this isn't hate, it's frustration. And it's growing fast. So in this video, I'm breaking down what's really happening with US travelers abroad. And by the end, you'll understand how they're burning their reputation pretty much everywhere they go. Number one, bringing their politics on vacation with them. We've all seen the videos online. People with MAGA hats walking through resorts in Mexico or posting photos at the Eiffel Tower with it on. It's almost like they're wearing it hoping someone would start something with them, maybe would start a fight. It's like they don't actually want to be on vacation, but what they really want is to be in some sort of Western movie, like a Western showdown. And the showdown is because they want to protect or defend their politics and beliefs. But guess what? Outside of the US, people don't want to see campaign slogans from any other country, especially the US. We've all seen this political circus on our news channels that's coming out of the US. And it's been going on for so long that now what's happening is that these horrible politics and policies are leaking over the border into almost every other country. And I'm going to be the one to say it for those who don't understand. Most of us are tired of it. We don't want to hear it anymore, and we don't want to see it. And most people don't care about your politics. I've traveled a lot over the last 15 years. And what I can tell you is that what most people care about is peace and respect. And that red hat you're wearing flips the mood really, really fast. Let me give you a little example. Like here in Mexico, we all know what that hat represents when it comes to Mexican people. And it's not peace and respect. It's actually the opposite. Travel should be about culture, respect, and kindness, not campaigns and arguments. So if you know that hat will start something before you come, either leave it at home or don't come at all. Because the problem isn't the country you're visiting. It's the costume that you decide to wear when you're visiting. Leave it at home. Number two is using Airbnb and raising house prices. I'm sure most of you have seen the headlines lately. Locals in Spain and Mexico marching with signs telling people and tourists to go home. People are tired of watching rent and food prices explode while foreigners live it up for a week. Now, let me tell you something about this though. Governments love that we're blaming each other because when the blame hits foreigners, it skips them. It skips the government because really, they're the real ones that are causing the issue. But this topic is for another video, for another day. Now, gentrification is a real problem though. People with more money come in and push the local people out that have lived there in some cases for a very, very long time. This is happening in all the hotspots around the world, in every country. Places like Lisbon, Barcelona, Mexico City, short-term rentals are pushing people out, pushing the local people out of their areas. When too many tourists flood the neighborhood, landlords switch from long-term leases to quick Airbnb cash. And then what happens is that locals get priced out and the culture gets watered down. And then over time, soul of the place starts to disappear. Now, for the most part, this isn't evil on purpose. It's actually ignorance in action. A lot of tourists think they're helping the local economy, but in a lot of cases, they're helping crush it instead. This topic is super complicated and comes down to a lot of factors within local economies and foreign affairs. It's a mess. It's a mess right now. Like I said, it's so complicated, but I feel for the people who are losing the battle and losing their homes. Number three, buying beach homes and acting like they own the beach. In many beach towns around the world, people are seeing this happen. Foreigners buy a house by the ocean and start telling locals, the people that live around them, that it's their beach, so they need to get off of it. In Mexico, Mexicans are complaining when homeowners try to kick other people off the sand in front of their property. Maybe they're having a party that's too loud, or they just don't like people gathering there. But here in Mexico, legally, the beach is public. But the foreigners, a lot of them act like they own the sea. And what's the god's name? Like Poseidon, like they own that sea. They're the king of the seas, or queens. And it's sparking huge backlash everywhere. Actually, in Mexico, beach property doesn't come with the rights of owning any beach. It's actually federal property. And private owners, they can't block or tell people to stay off the beach or any of the areas that is public property or federal property. And if you violate this rule, you can find yourself with a few fines or even prison time, depending on how much they don't like you. One town in the Yucatan saw residents tear down a fence that blocked beach access. Yeah, it was a fence that owners built to fence locals from, or anyone from going on their beach. And what happened was Mexican people, they rejected it and they tore it down. And this isn't just in Mexico, it's in Puerto Rico too. Puerto Ricans protest when developers claim waterfront zones, trying to privatize beaches, but laws say that it belongs to all of them. Owning a house by the beach doesn't give you water rights. If you lock people out of their rights in the local beaches, something that you didn't buy, they'll tear down your walls. They'll tear them down if they're physical walls, and they'll protest, they'll show you laws, they'll write you tickets, put you in jail, and sometimes even worse. So just remember, before buying any property anywhere, know the local laws. If people are going to come party on the beach and it's going to be too loud at night, don't buy land on the beach. Buy it somewhere else that's more quiet. Number 4, being loud and disruptive. I've been there before, sitting in a quiet restaurant in Thailand, enjoying my meal, and then someone from the US walks in on their phone and they're loud as anything. The volume just shoots through the roof all of a sudden. And no one else in the restaurant matters. And this place was super tiny. Now, I know this guy was from the US because on the phone call, because I could hear everything he was saying, he said that he was from New Jersey. And this call lasted the whole time that he was there. I might have left before him, but when I left, he was still talking on the phone. And it wasn't at some quiet volume. Like he could have waited to come into the restaurant, really. This is the thing you need to get, is that people aren't mad at Americans for having fun. They're mad because it sounds like every time they're in a restaurant, a cafe, or anywhere else, it's like a concert, or they have to be the center of the attention. That's what people around the world really think. And I know it's not how most people from the US act. Most are respectful and polite, but it only takes one bad apple to ruin the bunch. And it's happening all over the world. Japan, Italy, France, even Mexico. People lower their voices in public for most cases. In Japan, you don't even talk on your phone on the subway. It's rude. You just be quiet. But people like to talk loud for some reason in public. And it seems like many people from the US, they forget that they're guests in these countries. And trust me, the noise stands out. And it's not in a good way either. It's not about hating people from the US. It's about respect, like respect in shared spaces. Here's a small tip. A little awareness goes a long way. It's that easy. You don't need to whisper. You just kind of need to stop sounding like it's an NFL halftime show. The world isn't your karaoke bar. It's somebody else's home. Now, I just want to take a minute from your time here from this video. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I just recently created a WhatsApp group. The link is in the description. What I wanted to say quickly is that I didn't make it to sell you anything there either. I made it because it's easier to communicate with me there if you're interested in that, because there's quite a few people that want to have conversations and I miss the comments back after I reply sometimes. It's also a place where I'll always have that group no matter what happens to me. I do sometimes talk about a little bit of sensitive information on this channel. And if I do disappear here, at least I'll have that group. You can join it. You don't have to. I appreciate it. I appreciate everything. I appreciate you coming this far in this video. And let's get back to it. Number 5, ignoring local customs. Across the world, locals are getting more tired of tourists who treat the culture like a theme park. In Thailand, Americans have been arrested for taking half-naked photos at temples. And in Italy, tourists are getting fined for climbing fountains, carving their names into ancient walls and other things. It's out of control. These stories aren't rare though. They're happening all the time, consistently, constantly. What used to be funny travel stories are now global headlines about disrespect. Locals everywhere are saying the same thing: learn the culture or stay at home. And I totally agree with them. These customs aren't suggestions to take only if you want to. They're the foundation of respect. Taking off shoes, dressing modestly, or staying quiet in sacred places. It's not that complicated. It's basic manners. When travelers ignore those norms, it doesn't look brave or funny. It looks completely ignorant. Every time these clips go viral, it drags down an American image another notch. Culture isn't for decoration. It's people's identity and pride. So treat it that way. And when you treat it like your prop or prank or a video, you don't just embarrass yourself. You embarrass the country you come from and the people you represent. Number 6, demanding English to be spoken everywhere. Around the world, one of the most fastest ways to annoy locals is by demanding they speak English. I don't understand it though, because I've traveled a lot around the world. And sometimes we can't communicate of what I need, but I can point. We can, like cavemen, we can do things like that. Or a lot of times people do speak English a little bit and we get by that. But you see this demand happen everywhere. These stories of people demanding people to speak English. And it's real. You hear about it in restaurants, markets, and airports. Travelers raising their voice like a volume makes translation faster for some reason. Screaming at them, Joe, is not going to make them understand you. And some people get even really upset and roll their eyes when people from a different country don't understand what they're saying. But let me tell you something. It's rude. I don't understand it. And it's happening everywhere. I don't know why we just can't be kind. Now, most countries already learn English as a second or third language. They learn it in school or after school. They just learn it over time. A lot of people want to learn English, but they don't owe it to anybody just because they know it. And when people from the US act like English is the world's default, it sends everyone the wrong message. It sends them the message that their culture doesn't even matter. That mindset makes locals get tired really fast. Respect isn't about perfect language. It's about trying not to be rude about it. No matter how frustrated and miserable you are in your life, Karen, a simple hola or merci goes a long way. Or just use a simple translation app on your phone, because I know you have a phone. Everybody does. And it shows a huge effort towards those people. The world doesn't need to speak English to understand respect. Being kind to one another, that travels further than any loud demand will. So just remember, next time, approach it with a smile. No matter how embarrassed or upset you are at the moment, you'll catch more flies with honey, bees with honey. What's the saying? Number 7, the social media influencer resentment. Everywhere you go, someone's filming something on their phones. That's okay. Beaches, temples, restaurants. It's like tripods and ring lights, they're taking over or something. And it's too often that influencers from the US turn travel into some kind of movie about themselves. I've done it. I never did it in a way to disrupt anybody. And what I see is that locals are fed up. In places like Bali, Japan, Greece, Mexico, and so many other places, they're complaining about tourists blocking roads, climbing statues, or trespassing for the perfect shot. Even worse, some have even disrespected police or local laws. And they're learning the hard way that foreign prisons aren't a place to mess around. Travel used to be about seeing the world, and now it's about being seen in it. When tourists film in sacred or restricted areas, it's not great content, it's just disrespectful. Influencers in Bali have been fined and deported. In Thailand, in the Philippines, in Dubai, people have faced serious jail time for disrespectful posts on social media, or rude behaviors towards other people or police officers. And I'm sure other travelers from that country, from the US and other places, they see it and cringe because one bad clip damages everybody's reputation. It's embarrassing and so disrespectful. Let me tell you, likes on social media fade fast, but any length of prison sentence doesn't fade fast enough. It's not hard to respect the country you're in. It's not some sort of stage so you can get more followers. It's somebody's home. So just a little more respect, please. Number 8, being wasteful and over consuming. Locals notice the second the tourists arrive. The lights stay on all day, the water runs non-stop, and the plates pile high. And half of the food goes straight into the trash. It's not just wasteful, it's disrespectful. In places like Bali, Greece, and Mexico, hotels are begging guests to stop wasting water and food. Many point the finger at US visitors who treat all-inclusives like a Mr. Beast challenge or a hot dog eating contest. In most countries, people stretch what they have. They reuse, they recycle, and they share. When tourists show up, acting like resources are endless, it actually sends the wrong message. And that message is that your community doesn't matter. We don't want to send that message, do we? Overconsumption burns through energy and rises local prices in the long term. Now, I know it's not what travelers mean to do, but that's how they look. The world's watching and it's not impressed. You don't need to save the planet. Just stop acting like you own it. The best souvenir can you maybe just leave nothing behind. Number 9, the savior tourist behavior. In some parts of the world, the locals are tired of being treated like charity projects. Some tourists fly in for a week, take pictures holding kids, paint maybe a wall, and post it online and call it making a difference. It looks good on Instagram, but let's call it what it is: savior tourism. It's like help that's more about the helper than the person being helped. I've been a part of this and not willingly, I didn't know any better. About 10 years ago, I went on a cruise. And it was one of these cruise savior trip cruises. They didn't name it that, but that's pretty much what it was. This idea was to take us to the Dominican Republic and help communities. It sounded great on paper. I'll be real with you. Once it was over, it felt really off to me. During the day, we helped locals, which meant getting in their way more than anything. But they were super kind, and it seemed like they were happy we were there, but I wasn't too sure. It didn't feel like we were making any difference whatsoever. And then all of a sudden at night, we'd go back to the ship, we'd eat way too much, we'd drink way too much, and pretend that we did something good. We stayed in this port for like a week, for like almost 7 days. Maybe it was 5 days. And the ship had to go out into the ocean to dump the toilet waste. Every once in a while, it felt super weird. Like we would be eating dinner and the ship would go out to the ocean and come back. And we knew what they were doing. They told us what they were doing. The whole thing just felt backwards. Help in the day and just be wasteful at nighttime. Nothing about it felt right. But one thing, it did look good on Instagram though. Well, at least we thought it did. Countries in Africa, Asia, and Latin America have spoken out about this. Short-term volunteer trips can actually cause harm instead of help, like building things that locals don't need, or taking jobs away from paid workers. Usually these things are about profit from large corporations, and they don't care who they hurt. Like that cruise, the cruise line wanted to profit in one way or another, and I'm sure they made a lot of money. Even though I think I heard that they said they didn't. I guess it's still a big write-off for them. And sometimes what feels like kindness can come off as pity. And pity doesn't solve poverty. If your good deed ends with a selfie, it's not service. It's branding. Help where it's needed, not where it trends, not where it gets most likes or views on social media. Number 10, struggling with basic travel etiquette. People around the world are complaining about tourists. And a lot of them are blaming US citizens. What they do is they leave trash behind on beaches and even inside resorts and other places. People are saying that they leave piles of cups, plastic, bottles, and all sorts of things like on the beach. And they act like it's someone else's job to pick it up. This isn't happening just on one beach in one place. It's happening everywhere. Locals are complaining that they're cleaning up after guests who treat paradise like some sort of trash can. Having basic manners isn't complicated, guys. Pick up after yourselves, wait your turn, and keep your voice down. The small stuff really adds up. In many countries, cleanliness isn't just about looks. It's A lot of places, they pride themselves on it. When visitors ignore this, it screams disrespect. And it makes every traveler look really, really bad. Even the polite ones. People remember the mess, not the money that was spent. And I'm sure anybody watching this, if someone was doing this in your own home, you would have a problem too. Being a good tourist isn't hard. Act like your mom's watching. Because if you can't respect the place you visit, like I say, maybe you shouldn't come at all. Number 11, tipping when it's not custom. Most people in the US they don't feel right when leaving a restaurant after a good meal and not leaving a tip for anybody. I mean, I even feel it. It's automatic. It feels rude not to. The thing is, in many places in the world, tipping isn't normal. Japan, South Korea, and parts of Europe, leaving cash on the table can be pretty insulting. To them, it's almost like saying, you need my money to do your job right, don't you? What feels polite at home can feel very arrogant and ignorant abroad. Now, this habit runs deep for a reason. In the US, tipping became a standard because restaurant workers often get paid way below minimum wage. Some just a few dollars an hour, which is crazy. And they rely on these tips to survive. That system has ugly roots. Roots that go back to when employers refused to pay fair wages to certain workers after slavery ended. Over time, it turned into the culture. Americans tip because they have to, not because they want to. But in a lot of other countries, they pay their workers properly, so tipping isn't built in or necessary. Good manners travel better than dollar bills. When you're in doubt and you don't know if it's normal, ask what's normal. Because respect doesn't need money to be thrown at it. It needs awareness. Every traveler around the world carries their story about their country and who they are. The moment you land, people notice how you act, how you speak, and how you treat their home. And respect isn't complicated. Just learn the rules, listen, and treat every place like it matters, because it really does. If you've come this far in the video, I'm sure that you liked it. And if you did, I have one more for you right here. It's 10 reasons Mexicans are fed up with American tourists. This video was inspired by the comments real Mexicans left on my other videos. Click on it, check it out, because I'm sure you'll like it. Thanks for watching.